My fault, guys. I thought I was playing the music low enough that they wouldn't clap me, but they clapped me. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. Let me just go ahead and invite them now. Let's see if we can get them in. See if we can get them in. What's up?
Yo,
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
pretty good, pretty good. What's going on with you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. I thought I was playing the music low enough that I wouldn't get clapped, but I got clapped. So we back.
Oh, dang. Is that what that was?
Yeah,
That's
that's
crazy.
exactly what that was. Yeah,
Damn.
I
I
was
don't go
trying to be
online.
sly about it.
Well, shit. We back.
Yeah, we back. How y'all doing?
Good, bro. Good. What about you, Bobby? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How you doing, Basil?
I'm great.
All right, cool. Good to hear y'all. So let's go ahead and get started. This is, the Jameel Hassan interview series. Today we got Tip Vicious and Baba. Tip Vicious is the artist. Baba is the producer, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Tip Vicious, kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, uh, how you got started in this stuff. Tell us about yourself, man.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm Tip Vicious. Me and Baba, we're both from Sacramento, California. And actually, my boy he popped into the chat right now, Sparks Across Darkness. He kind of gave me my start, man. When I lived in San Francisco during college, like early 2010s, I was like writing a lot of poetry, and eventually that poetry became more of like rhyme schemes. And my homie put me on a couple of shows out there. He was hosting open mics, and from there it just took off. I moved back to Sac around the same time that he did, and he's a really skilled MC himself, and he kind of took me under his wing. He put me on a bunch of shows. We started making music together, and when you're just like surrounding yourself with people that you're comfortable with and that you respect their craft, like you're just progressively going to get better. And yeah, man, I hope that's what's been happening. I hope I've been getting better over the years. But yeah, that's where we're at. Me and Baba, we met late last year. And we've just been rocking with each other ever since. Um,
So
but
kind of
yeah.
go back to that, because I know I'm a writer who went from poetry to rap, so I understand there's a transition. So kind of talk about that transition, like how you learned. Is it Sparkle Across Darkness who taught you like the words to say when you rap versus when you're doing poetry? How did you learn how to transition? What was that like?
No, I don't think he ever like pointed at something and was like, this is how you get better type thing. It was
Okay.
just like the camaraderie of being able to know that like there's other people around me that are, rapping at a level that I fuck with.
Okay.
And yeah, no, the biggest thing was, at first it kind of just started as like some angsty teen diary type stuff, you know what I'm saying? Just like stream of consciousness about how I'm feeling. And I don't know. I've always been, I guess, just a proprietor of hip hop, and just always kind of had like this soul feeling to music that I've gravitated towards. And yeah, I think it just really came down to the fact that the schemes that I was using inside of my poetry started sounding more like hip hop. So
Okay.
much so that if you put it to a beat and you rap it a little bit differently,
Got it.
you have a song.
Got
And not to say that any of those songs that I made at that time should ever be considered songs. They're on the internet.
it.
I implore people not to go out and look for them. But yeah, man. And then I just kind of like started developing my own style, which is like heavily based in storytelling, which is poetry. So.
So when you took it to that level, you were learning the game, I guess, how to do shows, how to do all that stuff. What was like one of the earliest lessons that kind of sticks with you?
Oh man. Be prepared. Always fucking be prepared because
What were
yeah,
the
I think
times you
some
weren't prepared?
like coming to the show and like going to party before I've even like, done my performance. Getting too like stupid drunk or getting like that weird anxiety high where
Yeah.
you just like you smoke the regular amount that you normally would, but for some reason being in like a social aspect, it like takes you a couple levels up, and then you start slurring your words, you breath out hella quick, that type of stuff. And I mean, shit, man, I'm not perfect, and I still make mistakes when I perform, but I'm a lot more cool, calm, collected. I'm sober. I'll
Yeah.
probably have a couple of beers. I ain't gonna lie, but we'll save the liquor for afterwards. What you got in your cup, Bob? Y'all are drinking? Well, it's what, like 2 o'clock on your side, so
It's 2
okay,
o'clock
that's
on my
good. But
side, and I ain't got work
but my boy Bob, it's 10 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, my guy.
I didn't know it was in my cup. Oh,
We're gonna assume that it's water.
today. All right, so Baba, kind of tell me your story. Where did you get started into this thing? Because as producers, you guys don't get a lot of shine, but it's your time to tell your story. Tell you where did you get started in this, man?
well, I started out as an artist.
Okay.
I had a group back in the day, um, writing, rapping, and everything. But I'm gonna fast forward because my story is way too long.
I
Um,
got
Forward to 2 years ago, wasn't really doing music. I was, I love music, so I was always messing around with tracks and stuff. But real good friend of mine, rest his soul. His name is Terrell Carter. I've been knowing him. I went to school with his family, him and his two brothers, Tracy Carter, which I have a song out with now on a jazz album. Trey Carr, Shades of Me. Go check that out. And his brother L Boogie. Anyway, he called me and pretty much cussed me out to get me out the house to come to where he was at. And we just started working after that, producing every day for a year and a half. And then my ex-manager, Rod Jones, he introduced me and Terrell to Tip. And
okay.
once we all three got in the same room, from the very first day, the energy was just there. There was no, hey, I'm gonna do this for you, hey. And Tip is very to the point when he's
Okay.
talking sometimes.
Okay.
And sometimes people may take it as, being an a-hole or whatever, but he says what's on his mind, and that's what we admired about him, and that's what we do admire about him. And after that, man, the ball just kept rolling. The only thing that kind of slowed us up for a minute is, like I said, my friend, business partner, heck of a guy, ended up passing away unexpectedly. And
Sorry.
Yeah.
that happened, me and Tip just came together and was like, we got to go even harder now. And literally from last year to this year, the production has gotten better. The vocals have gotten better. Just everything has gotten better. But yeah, I've been doing music for over 30 years. I'm old school in this.
How long you been producing? Because you said you started off as an artist. How long you been producing? Just the 2 years?
No, I've always produced music, but
Okay.
last 2 years it's been like just straight production. I've learned I've learned a whole lot from Terrell and Tracy and Lance. My drums have gotten better, you know, making sure everything is in key, that has evolved. Before I was just a drum and sample guy,
Okay.
sample and chop up samples and play some simple drums. But, you hear the now, it just evolved into a whole nother thing. And it's kind of easy when you have an artist like Tip,
Right.
because his creativity makes your creativity go higher.
Okay. So that's kind of interesting because I want to switch back to Tip because that's something I'm impressed with is your creativity. Is that it doesn't seem like you ever run out of subjects to talk about. Seems like your stories complete the arc of wherever they're going. It's very well thought out, but it seems like it's natural for you. So how did you get into telling your story that way? Is it something that you just put in the required amount of hours and now you're great at it, or how did you come about that part?
Well, okay. So first of all, thank you. I appreciate you saying that, man. That means a lot.
Yeah.
I definitely take like the storytelling aspect seriously. I think that it's a part of hip hop that's kind of missing in the mainstream right now.
Right.
As far as like compelling stories that people can relate to that aren't paid millions of dollars to tell these stories, right? And no, man, I honestly I just try to make a moment. I think take a moment from my own life and squeeze it through a lens of hip hop. And along the way, I mean, luckily I'm working with Baba, who he makes a very diverse catalog of beats. I never get one or two of the same beats at the same time. Like it's not like, some producers, they kind of like find their niche and then they just kind of build out from there. Baba's more like all over the place, and at times it feels like when I'm writing that my thoughts can be all over the place. So the first step when I'm writing a song is to find the beat. So that's why this our partnership is like really powerful, because he has a bunch of beats that I like, and it's not necessarily always going to be hip hop or soul. Like I just sent him a sample for a Hunter x Hunter. I don't know if you watched that anime Hunter x Hunter, but I sent him a sample for just one of the symphonies that's in that show, and he flipped it into this dark trap beat. And it's like that type of thing. Like it's a little bit random, but ultimately, like especially with this project that we have coming out, No Sleep. I really was just trying to focus in on like the aspects of being an indie artist that a lot of the time are kind of swept under the rug. It's when somebody has a failure and they're independent and whatever their thing is that they love to do, 9 times out of 10 you won't hear about it at all. At all. And sometimes it's like subjective, sometimes it's kind of just like something that may be in your mind, or maybe this person isn't giving me this opportunity, that type of thing, but you really can't speak on those types of things, otherwise, lest you look like a hater. But in reality, like, I think that we should be okay to look at our musical peers and be like, yo, you're fucking up. You're fucking up, I'm fucking up. And basically, there's a better way,
Right.
And yeah, I just felt, I guess I felt a little bit marginalized in my own community, to the point where I just like, and I'm sorry to a lot of people, but I've just really just been on my own shit lately. Me and Baba have just been really honed in on this. And basically saying, like, taking the torch without asking and just saying, all right, let me show you how this is done,
So let me get cutting real quick, because
Sure.
you said something that was interesting. I've listened to the project 3 times now. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but I've listened to the project 3 times.
Hell yeah, bro.
I haven't had it long, but I've listened to it 3 times because there's a lot that you say in there, and there's a lot that I see from there, and I see where it's going. And so especially hearing your last project, you sent me your last project as well. I heard that fully, and I understood what you were doing there. But this project, I feel like, fully realizes the vision of Tip Vicious, and it starts putting a solid foundation for you to continue your career in a path that, if this is just the start, then you are on a good path, So one of the things you say in there, go ahead.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, both of you guys did exactly what you're supposed to do. First of all, let me pause real quick. Anybody in the chat, if you guys have questions, I'll throw them in the interview. Just type them up. I'm reading it as well. But
fuck you, Ed. By the way, I've seen that.
But real quick, you say it in there, like, something about your bad rep in Sacramento. Is that a line, or is that something that is real? Because you kind of mentioned here that you're doing things on your own. So, like, kind of talk about that.
Shit, man. I mean, I guess bad rep, meaning I've been doing this shit for a while, and I guess to some degree, you know, I'm about to turn 30 this year, you know, and when I first started rapping in this city, I was like 23, 24, you know, young blood, and I looked around and I saw a lot of like aging rappers that kind of like got stuck in this mode of, you know, this is the norm for hip hop in our city. And man, I guess I just kind of took it personal. No, I've just been doing shit my own way. I've made a couple of enemies along the way. He's not wrong. Like I could be very, very blunt sometimes. Like I've called out news publications that cover indie music in our city. I've been fucking mad at. I've had BLM mad at me. I've had, you know, I've said some pretty fucking controversial stuff over the years, and like I think to some degree, like that attitude of just being like, kind of an overt asshole at times, like definitely didn't win me any friends, you know, and shit, I kind of became a part of the problem that I was seeing in the city, you know, these types of like the clickiness and like just selective booking, selective features, that type of thing. I kind of became, yeah, just like another reason that those things exist. And so I guess now we're trying something a bit different, follow my lead type approach. Cause yeah, I mean, shit, this is like, this entire EP is a collaborative effort. And we're still collaborating. I guess I could tell y'all, but I'm working on a Tiny Desk entry, cause the contest, entry period is happening right now, which we're going to be shooting on Saturday, which is a collaboration between 5 Sacramento musicians and singers. You know, so I'm really trying to like, I've been gifted with a lot of positive things as far as music lately, and I really don't want to hoard all that to myself. You know, I really do want to give it back. But in order to do that, I have to be realistic about this music that we have going on, and what it means for everybody else and not just myself. You know, so I really feel like this is the first time that I've done something with a community behind me. Okay. In the past, it was just solo dolo or like with my immediate rapper friends, you know. Yeah. And yeah, I've really just kind of been making friends and trying to put everybody on. Man, if you're in this live right now and you're in Sacramento, come to the Guild. You know, we're building a family over there. And that's where 100% of this record, well, 85% of this record was recorded at. So, yeah, man. What was the question?
No, we're going to the next question. You answered it beautifully. You're good. You're good.
Oh,
so,
can I say
something? Go ahead.
Real quick, I got to give a shout out to the team while they in here. Bartholomew Blackman, Ed Montalban, Big Ed. Yes, he is a part of the team. We see him down there.
Number one investor and future head of security.
Future head of security, future current investor, current ideal man. We got Rod Jones, who's our manager. He's based out of LA, Orange County, down there, Riverside area.
Studio gear, and he's got a platinum record under his belt.
We have Tracy Carter, who played and helped with production, and he mixed and mastered on my bullshit on the album. Tracy Carter, Grammy nominated, platinum record under his belt. He plays for Shaka Khan. He's MD for a lot of the jazz greats, Gerald Albright, Huge Groove. And of course, I got the number one song. Well, the very first song on his album is a production with me and him, Shades of Me. And G-Rock, who else? My nephew Tino, Erica, Tip's creative
My
director.
boo thing.
You guys said two different titles right there. You guys said
She's the creative boo thing.
And I want to real quick on what Tip said about Sacramento.
Mhm.
It's a small town mentality. It's not just Sacramento. It's just that's just where we're at,
Right.
and that's one of the things that we're trying to just like dissolve away the small town mentality, because Sacramento has so much talent and
Mm-hmm.
people in here doing just, I tell people all the time with our production and his lyrics and his writing and the way he likes to format songs. That's another thing. When you listen to the EP, listen to the format of it. It's not hook verse hook verse. He has pre-choruses and bridges, and we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're just trying to polish it up, and we're willing to work with so many people, but we just got to get out of that small town mentality. That's all I want to say. I just want to say what's up to the team and everything, and back to
Good shout outs. Good shout outs.
our Tip Vicious. Go ahead.
And no, that's exactly why I'm doing this. If you guys want to know, this is all about the small towns or the places that I feel like have a lot of talent, but are either feel like they got to be crabs in a barrel, or feel like they can't support each other just because they're all trying to get the same thing. And it's like, I feel like if we work together, if we I don't know, rising tides raises all ships, or whatever the saying is. But like, pretty much, the better we all are together, it helps everybody out. So that's pretty much what I'm here for. That's pretty much what I'm doing this about. But I want to kind of talk about the team, because you were saying, and I believe either this project or the last project, that you've been doing it professionally for like a year or so. So what does professionally mean to you, and like, how does that help you out, and how is that helping you going into the South by Southwest event that you have coming up?
Well, professionally to me means that you're making some sort of revenue off of your craft, and also that you're doing things in a professional manner, I'd say. And that seems to be like the biggest hang up with a lot of issues that we have in Sacramento. It's people overcommitting or undercommitting to things, flaking, or just not willing to do the work, that type of thing. And yeah, man, me and Bobby both have had to cut ties with people that, just aren't willing to put in that work. It's fun to go into a studio and drink, smoke, hang out with your friends, all that good stuff, listen to beats, freestyle, but that's just not how we operate. We're really trying to make something that can have a mass appeal, and just half-assing it is just not going to cut it. I always tell them, because like this project specifically is like really important to me, and we've all come together financially and like really done our best to try and get this thing in a place where it can be consumed on a worldwide level, and accepted in a worldwide market, when our competition are people that are being paid, by their labels. They have funding, they have marketing through their labels, these types of things. And then on top of that, you got to add the other 250,000 active rappers in the United States at any given moment, And so we've just really been setting the bar high for ourselves and challenging ourselves to basically do as many of the opposites of what we were doing before, and still have fun, still make really good music, and yeah, be competitive in this market. So that's pretty much what being a professional artist means to me.
How's that prepare you for South by?
Oh man. Okay, so now I have to take all the times that I've ever like just gone somewhere with zero fan base and like apply that to what we have going on in South by Southwest and basically start all over again. One of the things I've like really tried to drill into my own head, and I've tried to tell other artists, is like the biggest way to get an opportunity is to just show up, you know? And so I'm going to be showing up for 2 weeks while I'm out there. We got booked for a little mini music festival. I'm going to be hitting tons of open mics, man. I made like a lexicon of open mics that are happening in the city. I released that into some Austin music groups and stuff like that to help other artists and just engage people before I even get out there. And yeah, I've been working with the guild as well. So pretty much just using all of these like positive tools that I have to make connections with people. Because realistically, you know, the people that are going to listen to your music the most are the people that are making art the same way that you are. And, you know, I think that a lot of fandom actually starts with other artists, you know. It takes an artist to see an artist, I guess.
So you bring in merchandise? What you bringing out there with you?
Yeah, bro. I got merch right now. So we have these. This is the design for my song Dream Nasia. It's on Spotify. My boy Super Ugly. Shout out Super Ugly. I don't know if he's in here, but he drew this. I have 3 designs that are available right now for purchase. One of which is for All My Bullshit, which is on the EP. So we've been selling these like crazy, actually. Before we've even got out there, just to help us fund our way out there in South by Southwest. I'm going to have hoodies and stickers and a crazy amount of flyers and posters when I'm in South by Southwest for the new EP. Yeah, man, I'm really going to try and go with like a guerrilla marketing approach when I get out there and just try and have my face on as many corners for as long as I can while I'm there. And from there, it's just going to where artists are and making those connections, meeting people, really just trying to, you know, just expand your worth, your net worth. And Austin's a great place to start. South by Southwest is a massive, you know, month-long event that the city celebrates. It's not just, you know, the South by Southwest official corporate, you know, conference that they have. Every venue in the city is going to be doing something. So yeah, man, just really inserting myself into it.
Have you been to Austin before?
Actually, yes, but not for South by Southwest. So
I feel like it don't matter with Austin. I feel like Austin at all times, they're all music. They love music. They love independent people.
No, you're not wrong. I did go to a show just at a bar type thing. It was nothing crazy when I was out there, but I was actually there in a sort of musical boot camp with my boy Josh Smith. He's the person that mixes. He's going to be mixing this entire EP. Okay. He's a Grammy award-winning engineer. He's worked with The Weeknd, Kanye West, Andre 3000, Flatbush Zombies, James Blake, like the list goes on. And yeah, just a super chill dude. So when I go out there, I'll be hanging with him. What's up, Bob? You don't got to raise your hand. This ain't class. Cut my ass off.
No, that Grammy winning, that Grammy winning engineer and everything is also working with us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, he's mixed this whole EP, so yeah, we're gonna go vibe out there with him. But this time around, I'm gonna be much more engaged in the city. When I was there last time, I was mostly at his house, just writing song after song and being told that it was shit. Sometimes people need to hear that, man, so you can step your bars up, bro.
Yeah.
That's real quick too. That's actually why our music is the way it is right now. Because when we first started working together and he came into the studio, the first session was just talking, trying to figure out where everybody was at. He told us where he wants to be. Me and T told him where we want to be, and then we're going to come together. Mm-hmm. The very first session, he comes in. We sent him some tracks. We have a track, it's called Hasty Pace, which Tip no longer likes or wants to do, but very dope song.
Why would you even say it?
This cat, he was like, okay, I gotta warm up. You know, I haven't been in the studio in a minute. Let me knock the rust off. So I'm old school. We record everything. As soon as you step in that booth, I'm hitting record. He literally did that song in one take all the way through. And when he did that, me and Terrell looked at each other and was like, okay, now we got to step our game up.
Okay.
Just like he said about, you know, and like, you know, it's all small town. It's just across the, I'm not even gonna say small town, just around the world when it comes to music. You have the people that are serious. You have the people that are dedicated. Then you have the enthusiasts, the people that want to do it to say they're doing it. Mm-hmm. He came in stripped all the way down. I just want to make good music. That's what we started doing. And, you know, unfortunate events happen or whatever, but everything has just been growing and growing and growing. And man, I got to say this. I tell them all the time, but, you know, I'm going to say this in front of everybody. I'm super duper proud of you, Mr. Vicious. Just for the simple fact, your mentality when you write and the way you put stuff together. Look, I'm getting a little
No, come on, man. I love you too. It's good. It's good.
Hey,
I feel a hug coming.
Get the fuck off me.
Real stuff though, what he's been saying about, you know, people that want to do it and don't, you know, the whole, we're just moving forward, man, and this stuff is coming out so lovely. So I appreciate you saying what you said earlier too about, you know, his music and his craft, because we're just trying to, man, we trying to put some stuff together that's going to be 30, 40 years from now, our kids are going to be living off of this and being able to look back and say, you know, the catalog is crazy.
Yeah.
And he also writes, so anybody out there looking for some R&B, hip hop or whatever, he writes. Publishing game.
It's true.
So, you know, I'm gonna do a little quick commercial. So, you know, get at it.
Yeah. I appreciate this album or the project because it's one of those unique projects where you hear it and you're like, everything just fits. You know, it feels good. It gives you a spirit about it. There's real lines in there. You know, there's things that you got to kind of listen to a few times in there. It's really like, I hate to say this because I don't like comparing anybody's projects and stuff like that, but the feeling that I got when I first heard Acid Rap from Chance the Rapper, it's like, okay, I can see where this is going. Like, I can see where he's trying to be. So that's the feeling I got. As artists, you guys are different, you know?
Oh no, don't rescind that compliment, bro. I love acid rap, and so does a whole generation of rappers today, you know.
Yeah.
And it's funny that you say that. One of the friends I sent a very select few people that demo.
Okay.
Other people have heard like a single here or there, just cause I'm like, you want to hear some shit, you know. But one of my homies, he said that. He pretty much expressed exactly what you did. It does feel like sort of acid rap, and he also said Vic Mensa, which was, but I'll take the acid rap. And he basically said that, you know, the world is primed for this type of thing. And I mean, if you think about like just the lore behind acid rap, like Chance the Rapper dropped that, and then he found Jesus and the shit changed, you know? Yeah. And so I do think that there's like a large audience of people that really want like that boom bap soul type of melody, sort of not quite punk type thing, but there's elements of it.
Storytelling. That's the thing that gets you. It's like when you're hearing it, you're like, this is what life is like. I don't really understand how popping bottles works because I ain't never been there. I don't understand how.
You know how much that costs? That's
BVS
ridiculous.
I don't understand what
a BVS.
You know, like,
is that a car? Like, bro. No, man, I just try and be realistic, and like I guess it's kind of like an everyman type of feeling.
Mhm.
Like if you were typecasting for like a film or something like that.
Mhm.
But it's like it's just being realistic. Like a lot of these rappers that are my peers are in the same, if not worse, situations, but they do have these lines about VVS's. They
Right.
do have these lines about popping bottles and popping other shit, you know, and
Mhm.
that's fine, you know, if that's your experience and if that's what you decide to spend your money on and also express through your art, there's a lane for it, bro, you
Right.
know, and
And
I like
those
a lot of
are
good
fun every
fucking
once in a
music
while.
with talk about VVS's, but you know, that's just not my life. That's not my experience. It never has been. Um, and, uh, and yeah, so I just try and express what's real to me and, what's realistic to others.
And to me, I feel like those things are fun every once in a while, but if you're doing too much, it ain't even that. It ain't even nothing really to. So,
Man, if I have to go out and think about if I'm going to be able to pay rent at the end of the night, it
or get
wasn't a good
shot,
night, my guy.
or get
It
shot.
wasn't a good night. But yeah, yeah, I feel the sentiment.
What's up, Baba?
You drinking Blue Moon?
I'm drinking a Blue Moon, sir.
Did you put some orange in that?
I did not put any orange in that. Otherwise, I got shot top. It's the same
Oh,
thing.
see,
Yeah, I hear you.
I
I
knew
hear you there.
like this guy.
I'm more of a Modelo type of dude
I'm a Modelo type of dude too, but their bottles
or
are
a
too
fat
small.
tire.
The bottles are too small for Modelo, so
Mm,
I have to get the Blue Moon
got you.
going.
You don't like Red Stripe then, huh? Them little ass Jamaican
Yeah,
bottles.
no. Real quick though, I'm gonna ask Baba first, then I'm gonna go second, and then I want you to go last because artist opinion matters least in this conversation. But what's your
Got you.
favorite song from this project right here?
Oh wow, the drums.
I don't remember that
Me
song.
too, Baba.
Okay, say my answer. So I don't have an actual favorite song because just a little behind the scenes, real quick. There was probably like 12 songs that were up to be on this project,
Mm-hmm.
and the only reason why there's 12 is because the first 6 or 7 slowly started getting replaced. Not because they weren't dope songs, it's just because the production and the vibe just kept growing and growing. So the
Okay.
reason why I say my favorite, not song, but it's the drums on this project because somebody told me, G Rock, Papa's Joint Media, little fucker if he's in here, that all my songs started sounding the same.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, and I'm a Taurus, 13 years. Uh, I get my feelings hurt. So I was like, I just went in and I just dove into the studio, and shout out to Drew Burks, St. Hope Academy, Kevin Johnson, ex-mayor of Sacramento, for them giving us the opportunity to be at the Guild Studios every day, all day, whenever we wanted. They literally gave us the key and said, go in there and make this do what it's supposed to do. And that's exactly what I did. I went in there and I worked on my drums. So when you listen to this project from beginning to end, there's only 2 songs on here on this project that I didn't go crazy on the drums because it wasn't right. And that's the intro, No Sleep, and Lost Me. But if you listen to
Hey, slow down with the names now. Slow down. Slow down. Slow.
track 1 and track 2, uh,
Yeah,
but
better.
if I have to pick a song, it would have to be Pay Me.
That was the one I was gonna pick.
And
That was
real
the one I was
quick,
gonna pick.
Pay Me, just like On My Bullshit, was never supposed to happen with Tip.
Okay.
On My Bullshit, me and Terrell, Terrell called me. He said, "Hey man, I want you to sample the beginning of As." It's a Stevie Wonder song on Sounds of the Key of Life. So I pulled it up. I was like, "Ooh, that's dope." So I texted him back real quick. I was like, "Man, I got a bunch of ideas, man. I'm gonna tear this up." Then he texted me back. He was like, "Well, hold on. I got a few ideas too. Don't do too much." So I didn't touch it. Went in the studio the next day. We chopped the melody. I put some drums to it. He played the bass. He played the chords. And I was like, "You need to go in there and sing this." And I was so used to sending the tracks to me, Terrell, and Tip on the email that I forgot I sent him that. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we were going to the studio. He was like, "Yeah, I finished Always." That was the name of the beat at the time. I was like, "Well, how the fuck did he get Always?" I had to go back in my email. That's how All My Bullshit came about.
Okay.
Then fast forward to Pay Me. I didn't send it to him because of the type of tracks that I do specifically for him.
Got you.
I always question, is he going to like it or not?
Mm-hmm.
And this one just didn't get sent. And I'm playing it in the studio for some people listening to tracks to buy. And he's like, "Oh, no, they're not going to want it." He's looking at me, sitting off to the side. He's like, "Oh, fuck."
It's like, turn that shit off.
Yeah.
Stop what you're doing.
Did you already have a vision in your mind of what it was gonna be, or you just heard it and was like, "That's it"?
I'm gonna tell you.
I heard it and I was like, I hear words to it.
Yeah.
So slowly roll.
Yeah.
With violins on it again.
One sec.
We're done. He loved the violins on it. And so I sent it to him before he even got to the house that night. And literally the next day, he called me and was like, "Hey, what's going on tomorrow? I got to come in and lay it." And he didn't even tell me nothing about what he wrote or nothing. We did it in sections, and I was just like, "Oh my God." The way it unfolded. He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna do this part first, then I'm gonna come back." I was like, "Dude, you already know how we work. When we get into the studio, man." So Pay Me, I digress. Pay Me is my favorite actual song on it, but all the drums is what I'm like feeling, because I feel that our drums and his lyrics takes everything to another, all the chords and the sounds around it, that's all just icing on the cake. The drums and his lyrics and his melodies puts it out there for me.
Well, now I have something else to listen to when I listen the fourth time. But I was gonna say Pay Me because I've had a few people reach out to me about doing these interviews, and so it's gonna get Pay Me real quick. As
it should, bro. As it should.
It's a theme.
What's up with you? What's your favorite song? Tip?
My favorite song. I mean, it's so weird because Pay Me literally manifested like a week before we were supposed to send the EP off for mixing. So it's like the song I'm most connected to because it's the newest song.
Got it.
It's also like one of those songs like where if you listen to the EP, there's like very few cuss words in it up until that point. They're there, here and there. They're kind of spattered about, but I did that on purpose because I wanted to be able to have as many of these songs be played across as many different outlets as possible, obviously. And that's the easiest way. But Pay Me was like all of what I wanted to say throughout the EP, just like funneled into one song. And so it's like, I mean, it's fun. It's kind of dark. It's an asshole thing to say, but it's something that every single person that makes art can relate to. And basically, yeah, if you guys want to see any semblance of what we're talking about, you could go on my profile. The listening session graphic that I have up has a little snippet of it. Yeah, that's a good song. Honestly, I think Slow is my favorite song though. I challenged myself to make a sad song that sounds happy, and I think I succeeded. So I like that song a lot. It's really personal to me, and it's, I think, just what a lot of people feel like when you're trying to accomplish something bigger than yourself, and you know, you can't do it alone, and you have to at times go really slow, way slower than you had anticipated or wanted, and just being able to find patience in that, and knowing that your time is going to come, you know, but it takes time. So yeah, I'd say slow.
So I can talk to you guys forever about this stuff, but I'm gonna wrap it up just for the sake of the people watching. But
Of course.
I want to mention a few points because I like "Pay Me" because of the first line of the album as well, or the project as well. Um,
Mm.
it's kind of
I'm glad you caught that. I'm glad you caught that.
okay. So I didn't know if that was just me or whatever, but I love the first line of the project. I was like, that's a brilliant way to start it, and then "Pay Me" at the end is a brilliant way to finish it, and it kind of wraps back around if you listen to it that way. And I love projects that
Mm.
do that. Um,
Yeah, no, it's a bit of an Ouroboros type EP. You know, you can listen to it frontwards or backwards. It's a little bit damn, if you will. It's a little damn. Kendrick's damn.
I think it's more revol. Well, I like it more revolving. The way I like
Sure.
listen to it is that it revolves around itself. It kind of completes itself. But you mentioned slow. I feel like slow was the point in the album because I feel like, or the project. I feel
Mm.
like it takes you on a journey, and I feel like once you get to slow, you kind of pause yourself for a moment and you kind of understand the meat and potatoes of what is actually happening there. So I'm glad you mentioned slow as well.
Yeah.
As you move forward, as we wrap up, as you move forward, what's your intention with this thing? What do you hope that you guys get out of this? Both of you guys.
Um, I hope I get more engaged listeners that catch things like that. Um, I guess another free point for you is just that whole idea of this cycle in the EP is also symbolized in the artwork for it, with the moon and the day, and me kind of walking between the two. But you know, just that, I think that hip hop is something that doesn't, right now in its current state, is largely a genre that's based on feelings and vibes, rather than the actual content. And that's kind of my lane, I'd say, is like trying to bring those two together, and doing it in a way that is realistic to more than just a percentage of the population, um, which is people that don't have financial ills, don't have to worry about if they're gonna accomplish their dream or not. People that want to be more than what they are right now, but they have to take their time in order to do that, and finding that patience. You know, that's really what the EP is about. And so I just really, I hope that it resonates with people. And you know, I'm not, see, one of the things I always tell Bobby, I am not motivated by money at all. I'm really not. My life is like, I'd live like this for another 10 years. You know, I have enough money to pay my bills and fucking smoke as much weed as I want and buy an Xbox game every now and then. Like, so at face value, my life isn't like bad or anything. But I'm really motivated by, uh, surprising people, with something that they've never heard before. And I get satisfaction out of seeing that look on their face. So that's what motivates me. And yeah, that's what I hope to accomplish, just to surprise some people, and hopefully continue to still be able to make music like this, and own my masters forever.
That'd be great, Baba.
Um, I would be lying if I said that, you know, I'm not doing this for money, but I agree totally with what Tip just said.
Mm-hmm.
Money is not the motivating factor. Um, Me and Terrell used to talk all the time. Terrell was very, very into cryptocurrency, generational wealth, you know, financial literacy for the African American community. So my big motivation for this and what I want to get out of this is generational wealth. Not all, it's not always means money. But like, you know, like I said earlier with the whole publishing thing, I want me and Tip and the whole team, Ed, Rod, you know, Tino, just G Rock, everybody. I want us to be able to leave something behind that says, okay, they took care of what they were supposed to take care of while they was here, and it's still taking care of people. Musically, I just want, I mean, you know, I'm like T-Pain. Stop, stop sending me the same shit. But you
I was like,
know,
where's he going with that?
I was too. I was like, you're like T-Pain? You were in love with
I
a
got you
stripper, my
now.
guy?
I got
everything is the same. That's like why I said just a little while ago, you know, we're not reinventing the wheel, but we're putting a different spin on it. We're putting a whole different shine on it, but we're not the only ones out there doing it. So hopefully with, you know, doing interviews like this and growing and growing and growing, we can bring more we could put a better spotlight on the artists that are out there doing it like us,
you.
that are getting the shine for the simple fact, everybody, my sister, I love her to death. But when I was sending her stuff that we were doing with Tip, I had to stop sending her stuff because she was like, oh, it sounds good, but you got to trapify it. You got to put some trap drums on it. You got to do some trap. Even with slow, I sent it to her because she's one of the ones I like, you know, she's on my list of people to listen to stuff. And she was like, why is he talking? Why is he so depressed on such a happy beat? And I said, you're missing the point. I said, listen to the song a couple more times and then hit me back. And she never hit me back. All she did was text me with a thumbs up, and she said, I get it. That's what I hope to get out of this, is to just let people, other people know out there, man. And I'm not saying we're getting ready to be the most commercially successful, because we don't go into shit talking about this is what we're doing it for.
Right.
Oh, we're gonna make this song for radio. We're gonna make this song for everything. Even if you,
Unless they pay us first.
I will
Then
give up
we do.
pay for that. They will be on deck for that. But you know, and you know, Rod's up here. He's throwing up some questions and everything. He wants to ask some questions about the video. But Rod was my manager back in the '90s, and God bless his soul, he was on that level of taking it to the next level. Every time you turn around, okay, we got to do this. We got to do this, because that's what was popular. I want to show everybody, just go into the studio, and people say this over and over, and I'm beating a dead horse with this. Go in the studio and just make music, and whatever comes out, comes out. That's literally what we did. And if you listen to Tip's last project compared to this project, lyrically, he hasn't changed really. He's evolved, you know, more singing and stuff like that, but it's the overall experience is what has evolved.
Right.
You could take the same vibe and just step it up a little bit. And that's what I want everybody to take from this project. And that's what I want to happen out of this project. And, you know, I love Sacramento. We got so many talented artists in here, but come on, man, let's just make music and with a purpose, not, you know, thinking about, okay, I got to do this, this, and this. Let's make it and see where it goes. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're making good music, it's going to go somewhere.
And that's the hopes. It's like I've heard what you guys have done. So my hope is that it gets to the people it's supposed to get to, because there's different levels of success for everybody. But what is important, I think, is that you kind of set a legacy and you kind of make your stamp on this music thing. And I feel like this project, if it gets to the people it's supposed to, it can really make a stamp on this music thing and kind of shift the way that people kind of identify how to make music, because it only takes one person for somebody to realize, hey, we don't have to go down the same route that everybody else is going, and you know, it's profitable to do things different. So that's my hopes. It's been really good talking with you guys. If you guys have anything else you can say, you guys, or want to say, you guys can say right now. Any more shout outs, anything?
Real quick.
Yeah.
Shout out and our condolences to our mastering guy, Bobby Ford, who's worked with everybody from E40, CBS. I mean, the whole thing. He just lost his mother-in-law, so we want to send our condolences to him. He's a vital part of the team too, Bobby Ford. Also, Cornelius Mims. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He's played bass on everybody's stuff throughout the 90s, from 80, I think 81 all the way up until now, and on our stuff. He just lost a few family members, so we want to send our condolences out to them, or to him too, because both of those guys are extremely vital. And Cornelius played bass on Slow. He played bass on Slow
And man.
But he
Oh
just
shit, I'm dropping names.
he took but I want to give a shout out to them. And I also want to give a shout out to the Carter family, Tracy and Lance. My drums are because of Lance. Lance is an actual drummer, professional drummer by trade, but he's a DJ, producer. Him and his wife, Lance and Steph. Steph is a super dope artist in her own self. She's gonna be mad at me for saying this, but and Tracy, Tracy, him and Terrell are the ones that allowed us, and Valita Barber, Cheathon, but Barber, that's the Carter's mother. She allowed us to record that's where everything got started. Record in the studio. They weren't asking for no money, do this or that, just go out there and make good music. And Tracy put a lot of pretty much the equipment out there over the years. But those people right there, and like I said, Rod Jones, Maria Jones, my family, but really those people right there are the reason that we're doing what we're doing right now. And that's just on that side. I can go on about some other people. Oh, and Edward Marshall, who's in the comments yelling at us.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Get back.
I think we've shouted out just about everybody we've talked to in the last 6 months.
We have
no, man. The last thing I just want to say is, just support the music. We're looking at tentatively looking at March 3rd for a release date, but before that, just some dates that we have coming up. We have our Tiny Desk entry that's going to be probably out next week. On the 25th, we have the Guild's listening session and the studio opening party here in Sacramento. So if you're from Sac, you want to hear the EP before it's out, that's where you're going to do it. I'll be debuting the music video for Slow there as well. And yeah, man, tap in with us. We have merch. Bobby makes beats. I write songs. If you know somebody who needs a song, we're kind of a duo, so we do what we need to. And yeah, that's all I got. Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
Oh wow!
I'm definitely making that a clip. And
don't cut that out either. I'll see it if you cut that shit out.
That's my promo. All right, I just want to shout out everybody that's been in the comment section or who stopped through the live. We see you guys.
Thank you guys
tuning in. This will be on my YouTube. I'm gonna upload it there after. I personally, you guys did all your shout outs, but I want to do a shout out to Rod Jones again. He set this whole thing up. So I look out forward to what you guys all have coming forward. We'll tap in again sometime soon. Thank you guys. You guys have been great.
Hey, thank you for having us, brother.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys.